Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, and you might wonder why I'm here in Kokiri Forest. Also, by the way, hello, back with more Master Quest. Well, it may not have been brilliantly telegraphed in the end of the last episode, because I did kind of play the end of last episode by ear somewhat, but we're doing a very special side quest in this episode. But first, I want to show off what this beanstalk does, because we have to be here anyway, and it sure is a beanstalk doing beanstalky things. It ultimately culminates in that little ledge above the Kokiri shop that has all those rupees on it, but I'm not going to collect them because right now I don't need them. But that does kind of actually, no, I'm going to get off here. Teehee. But you can see it flying back around to... It stops over the top of the shop and such that you can climb over and get those rupees, and that's the whole point of that beanstalk, and those rupees there, you can see them right there. But our destination is here in the Lost Woods, because in the last episode, with the assistance of the wonderful Joff, my Shadow Sage, we completed the Shadow Temple in actually really not much time at all, and I started a very unusual side quest where we got a little egg, and it hatched into a little chicken, and then we used that little chicken to wake up some lazy guy, and we were given this blue chicken instead. Kojiro, or Kohiro, or Kojiro as I pronounced it as a child because I didn't understand that Japanese was a thing. And we need to find someone who... Kojiro will only crow for certain, like one very special person, and that's this guy. That's where this is going. Delightful. So that the whole point of this little thing was just to get Kojiro to crow and be tame and stuff, and we must be a nice guy. Also, I don't know if I showed off this guy in the past, like as Child Link, but he sort of chills underneath the tree in Kakariko Village. So... Oh yeah. So... This is kind of... how to describe? This is a long chain of side quests, where some of them you just need... Well, you bring an item to a person, and they give you another item, and you take that item to someone else, and so on and so on. It's a classic fetch quest kind of situation, or trading side quest, that sort of thing. And some of these items, like this one, have timers attached to them, and so we kind of have to get to Kakariko Village pretty fucking sharpish. So that's what this episode is going to be given over to. I'm going to just assume that I'm going to be able to get through this... I'm going to dedicate this entire episode to this side quest, whether it takes 20 minutes or 30 minutes or what. But if it spills over into 2 episodes, then so be it. But I'm going to be lenient, and I'm going to say, if this takes half an hour, then it'll be 1 episode, and if it's more than that, then okay, I'll split it into 2. But anyway, our destination is a shop that we've never actually been into thus far in Kakariko Village. Turning into Porky Pig, apparently. Now, it's a shop that we couldn't get into as a child, but we could get to it as a child. You may recall there was that fence we had to jump over as Child Link to collect all of the chickens in order to receive that one empty bottle. And there's one building there. In fact, it's the building that we climbed on top of to receive a heart piece at one point from the guy who sits on the roof. And I'm surprised I took no damage there. Anyway, that shop... If you try to go into it as Child Link, I believe you get a message saying, oh no, the proprietor is out on like a field trip or something, I don't know, field study something. I don't know, the point is that's the shop we're going to, and we can get to it as Adult Link, as Adult Link, we can get to it through here, this is where the potion shop from, that's where the Castle Town potion shop ended up, but again, I'm not sure if I showed that off, but... Anyway, this is our destination. We couldn't get in here as a child, but we can now because... It's the future! Hello, lady person. You can smell that we have a mushroom. Here, take my mushroom before it disappears, and she has a cat, and that's nice. That bum! That's British for dead ass. Yes, take the mushroom, I don't want to fail this timed side quest. Whoosh. And so, in exchange for the mushroom, we get medicine. That's a really weird stipulation right there. It won't work on a monster. Implying what exactly? Well, I don't remember exactly what I've said in this LP because today's the 5th of May. It's been a while since I've recorded this. And there's no time limit on this one, so we can chill. But yes, I believe I shared at some point the theory that, well, first of all, the bit of lore that if an adult goes into the Lost Woods, they get turned into a Stelphos, and the only reason why that doesn't affect Link is because he was protected by the Kokiri as a child, and he has Navi the fairy to protect him now. Speaking of fairies, the guy's gone, and oh, it appears to be Fado or Fado, or the girl who was originally going to be the Wind Sage back when there was a Wind Temple in this game. And so this is her parroting that bit of lore that I just mentioned. By the way, I cut out the trip back because, well, we could just, well, I could warp to the Forest Temple and then walk the rest of the way. The thing is, with the timed items, so things like the mushroom, if you use a warp song, then your timer will immediately jump down to 1 second and then it'll expire as soon as you take a step. Well, it's not tied to how many steps you take, it's just, you lose all of your time if you attempt to warp. So, you can warp with non-timed items like that and this, but you can't warp with timed items. So that's why I cut that out. But I'll leave this in because we're going somewhere. No, Fado, Fado, Fatuti, we have a fairy. Now, this saw, we need to take it to somewhere that we've not actually been before, but is pertinent to the next temple, and it's a good thing that I have this beanstalk, come to think of it, because convenience! But yeah, I'm not going to cut out the trip to this next area, because it's somewhere that we haven't been yet, but we will need to go for the next chapter, as it were. And half the reason why I'm doing this side quest now is I don't want to start the next chapter. Because it involves a stealth section, and I hate stealth sections in games, especially non-stealth games, because I don't like stealth games to begin with. But we need to head over there to return the Poacher's Saw, and we need either Epona or the Longshot to actually get to where we need to be in the first place. So, hopefully, I could get there and not trigger the next chapter of the game, so to speak. And I'm saying chapter because, I don't know, Paper Mario terms. So, how are you lovely people doing? It's a fine day today, isn't it? Or maybe it isn't on the day you're watching, in which case I'm sorry. Which is kind of depressing, but that reminds me of my very first year of studying French in high school. I think in order to demonstrate that we understood how French grammar worked, we had to write a conversation between two people that was like, hello, how are you, all these other terms, and just proof that I'm too good at languages. What I ended up putting was something like, hello, how are you, not good, oh, I'm sorry, and I had to ask the teacher how to say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, and that's how I ended up learning how to say désolé in French. Wow, I didn't expect that story to take the entire journey here, but that's good because there's a gold sculpture that we can get here at night time, and, well, only at night time because gold sculptures only appear at night, but here we are at Gerudo Valley. Now, as a child, I pronounced it Gerudo, but the internet seems unanimous, more or less, that it's Gerudo rather than Gerudo because Japan. Now, I'm going to leave Epona here just so I can get a proper look around for the gold sculpture, because I don't remember whether it only appears as Adult Link or Child Link. I could have sworn it's on that waterfall there, but if not, then it's somewhere around this area, and also, unapropos of that, it is a bit of a nightmare trying to get Epona up this narrow bridge, because if you go even slightly to one side, she'll realise she's come up against an edge, and then she'll freak out, but yes, it's crazy and cinematic to be able to use Epona to jump across this bridge, but you can just use the long shot to the same effect. It's not quite cinematic, but it gets the job done. And our destination is that tent on the right there, which, again, it will become relevant in a short amount of time. And actually, Moon, don't go down just yet. I remember there's another gold sculpture that we can get. Just don't rise yet. There's Skulltula there. Please don't go. Don't leave me. Thank you. Good grief. I was so ready for that to be a comedic, classic Let's Play moment, where I get up to Gold Skulltula and then it fizzles out because when the sun rises, Gold Skulltulas outside of dungeons just disappear. So you there. More like Master Beta, am I right? Yes, the story of this area is the barbershop quartet that work for this guy went to the thieves' hideout, which is just up the road here, and they all got kidnapped because they're men, because the Gerudo thieves are, like, I admire their prowess and capability and fortitude and all these other words, but it's still sexist to say, oh, you're a man, therefore you're automatically going to do something bad to us, and I don't want to get into the debate of all that stuff. It's just there's no such thing as positive discrimination. Anyway, returning the poacher's saw to what I can only assume is a poacher. And what are you going to give us in response? I don't have this side quest completely memorized. I just remember bits and pieces. So we have a broken Goron sword. Now, who is this big Goron? Well, I know, and you'll find out... Well, I would say you'll find out in a moment. He says, as if I'm about to cut. But I'm not going to cut. I'll take you with me. Because you'll recognise that as the Bolero of Fire, or Bolero as I've heard it pronounced before. I'm just wondering, can I use the beanstalk to get out of Death Mountain Crater? Because we need to be at the top of Death Mountain. And because this is a non-timed item, we can just warp here. And I would put on the red tunic, but we have, what, 15, 16 hearts at this point? 16 hearts. So yeah, we have 2 minutes and 8 seconds. That's more than enough time to get through here. Now just take me up to the top of it, take me to church, I'll worship like a dog at the shrine of your life. I'll tell you my sins, you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that deathless death, good God, let me give you my life. Hosieri. His name is nearly lingerie. Anyway, that is a very big Goron. Well, that's the guy we're looking for, and he has eyes. He has eye problems. Hello, Mr. McSurface. Medigoron. I've deliberately not shown him off, because I kind of have a story with Medigoron, but there's not really much to say. I found him in Goron City as a child, and he said, oh, I can make a sword, but it takes several years, and that was before I realized, oh, there's time travel in this game. So there's a medium-sized Goron. Well, if this is big, then there's a medium-sized one in Goron City. You can pay him 200 rupees, and then, as a child, and then you come back as adult Link, and he'll give you a sword, but if you swing it 200 times, then it breaks. And I think every subsequent sword you get from him is even weaker, and I don't know, something like that. So the point is, he's an okay swordsmith, and this guy's the real deal. Feel it, I'm the real thing, yeah. And presumably... Well, I'm not going to say what the reward for this side quest is, because it's fairly obvious, but I'm trying to work out off the top of my head, what's the best way to get to Zora's Domain from here? I won't trouble you with it, I'll see you when I get there. And we're here. I have long pondered what the most efficient way of getting to Zora's Domain is in the future, because as Child Link you can just play the Serenade of Water and then swim through the little shortcut to get to Zora's Domain, but even after you beat the Water Temple in the future, it's still frozen over, so there's no quick way of getting here. I went through the secret passage in Darunia's chamber in Goron City, and wow, your legs are clipping through the ice waterfall, good sir. I went through that way, through the Lost Woods shortcut, and then through the shortcut that spits us out from the Lost Woods in front of the Taylor Swift waterfall, and that's how I got here. Now, this, I believe, is the most arse of the timed side quests, or, well, bits within this side quest. So, we have the ingredients to make the eye drops that Big Goron has the prescription for, but we need to take them to the lakeside laboratory. And we could just use a Serenade of Water to just run straight there, but as I said, if you teleport, then you lose all of your time. Like, no matter how much time you have left, as soon as you get out of the warp animation, you have 1 second on the timer, and of course, after 1 second elapses, you have no time left, and you failed. So we're gonna have to get there on foot, or, well, with Epona's help. So, it could be so easy, and it's not. I suppose I could make the obligatory joke just to date stamp this episode even more. We got the eyeball frog. It's that boy! Oh shit, what up? Now, I get that that meme's really annoying because so many, like, it's pretty much fucking everywhere on my Twitter feed, and so I feel like people are getting sick of it. Even though I've not actually referenced it, but still. I actually find it funny. It's a frog on a unicycle. What's not to like? As I said, oh shit, what up? Now, the one annoying thing about getting down Zora's River is, for the most part, adult Link is too tall to swim down it. So, it would be really quick. Especially, like, as Child Link, this would be so quick and easy. But as adult Link, he's too bloody tall. Hey. Also, the eyeball frog does kind of look to me like, like a Microsoft Office helper, you know, like that bloody paperclip. Anyway, we're going to need to summon Epona. So, I suppose you could run across Hyrule Field in the time, with the given time, but, I mean, we have a fast mode of transportation, may as well take advantage of it. So, Epona, let me mount you, teehee. Now, we have 1 minute and 3/4 to get our asses to the very south corner of the field to deliver this eyeball ass frog. I want to say we have plenty of time, but this isn't easy. This is This and the thing that we get as a result of delivering this in time are the two hardest, by far, parts of this side quest. It looks like we have plenty of time. I'm still not going to count my chickens just yet, because, I mean, this side quest is as simple as it looks. It's just, get to the place within the time, not actually that hard. There's not going to be any surprise hindrances getting in the way or anything. But I still don't trust myself, because I have 1 minute to get the Why are you showing this now? This cutscene! This is why I didn't get the Scarecrow song so early in the project, because I thought it would show this cutscene, and it never did. Good God, game. Anyway, we are here, and I still haven't planted that magic bean, have I? Well, I'll sort that out at some point. But first things first, I'm the realist. Drop it, let the whole world feel it. I don't know, something Iggy Azalea, lessons in physics, whatever. The point is, Mr. McSursa... Take the bloody eyeball, frog! Now, the thing that he makes with this is another timed side quest. And I believe we have to run it over to Big Oron, so I need to be emotionally ready to make that journey, and I'm not sure what the quickest way there is. But I want to say it's through Kakariko Village via the beanstalk outside Dodongo's Cavern, and I think I've planted that magic bean, and if I haven't, it's going to bite me in the arse here and now, but I'm fairly sure I have. Because as a child, I assumed that that magic bean was just to get you on top of Dodongo's Cavern so you could collect that piece of heart, which I cheesed and got really early in the game. Yeah, we got a bottle of, what was it, Angel by Thierry Mugler or Christina Aguilera, whoever it did that, was it, who was it that did that perfume in the star-shaped bottle that was called Angel? Well, whatever. I always assumed that beanstalk was just so you could get the piece of heart on top of Dodongo's Cavern, but I've since seen it being used to get most of the way up the mountain. Epona, fucking go! We do not have time for this shit. See, Epona is kind of skittish like that. And, yeah, she's a horse, but, I mean, come on. Come on, seriously. Epona doesn't like approaching fences at angles, as I've shown before. And she can be pretty obnoxious about it sometimes, and it's not a good time, and... Also, there's another side quest involving her that we're going to need to deal with at some point on Hyrule Field, and I don't want to do that because it's one of the last things I ever did when... In fact, I never actually did it in my original playthrough of this game, but I did do it in the 3DS remake, and I'm going to stop alluding to it now because I'm sure it's really annoying that I'm talking about this thing and not giving any actual details, and... I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit anxious because 3 minutes is a lot of time to get to where we're going. But I can't help but worry just the same, because... Don't know what those noises were meant to be. I could swear you can backflip off Epona in this game, but that might be Twilight Princess. I feel like if it can be done in Twilight Princess, then it could be possible in both games, but if it's not possible in this game, then it's definitely a Twilight Princess thing. It's just easy to get off Epona if you can backflip off her, because you don't have to wait for her to stop before dismounting. And that tree there, in the past, that's where the odd mushroom guy would sit at night and complain that everyone and everything is ugly. So he's basically Tumblr. Just, he hates everything, including himself. You know I love you really, Tumblr, because that's where I get some of my funnies for my videos from. Anyway, we're nearly there. We have about 2 minutes to get up Death Mountain. That's not that difficult, but I am going to equip my arrows now, and I don't like equipping stuff to down C, but remember, we're going to have to get up that, whatchamacallit, that wall covered in little, well, they're called skull wall tulas, like the wall is totally necessary in there, the wall-based skull tulas, we're going to need to shoot them down in order to get up, and thank fuck I did plant this magic bean. So, I don't know if you can use the hookshot to climb part of the way up there, but I'm going to assume that you can. I don't remember how high this thing goes. Oh, good. This is exactly where I need to be. And it's good that we've beaten the Fire Temple, because we don't have to worry about getting rained upon with these deadly boulders of death from the sky and the doomy dooms of doom. Anyway, we need to climb this wall, and I don't remember if the long shot can help with that, but I'm going to assume that it can, and that's why I've left it equipped. But first we need to clear out the wall. We have about a minute to do this, but I don't trust myself to make it up there. So how much of an advantage can you give me? Anything? Nothing? Nothing. Okay. So I might as well have not equipped it. Well, just to be an arse, I'm going to re-equip the ocarina because... Actually, we are going to need it in a moment. I feel like I can relax now mostly, but there is a Tektite on this wall somewhere, and if I'm not careful, it's going to hit me on the head and send me careening back down this wall, but we still have a minute, so with any luck whatsoever, we're making it. We're nearly there. I'm doing the hornpipe. I've fallen over. You won't get that reference unless you watched a really specific radio program at a really specific point in time, and I don't even remember when that was. Begoron, you fuck! I remember this side quest being much harder than it actually is, but I don't cope well with time pressure because I spent 5 years of my life agonized by time pressures, but... That's disturbing. Just the sound of the eye drops echoing everywhere. But that's it, we've completed the side quest, sort of. We just need to claim our reward now. So yes, he's a swordsmith, so... You know, what do you think our prize after all this is going to be? So he says to wait a few days, and he gives us the claim check, which is that an expression? Because I've never heard that as a thing that refers to anything. Anyway, I'm going to just pop into here to reset where I get spawned when I use the Sun Song, and I will meet you in 3 days' time, where we can claim our prize. As it turns out, the Sun Song, when played here, doesn't actually warp you anywhere, but whatever. I played it a bunch of times. Now, I think it takes 3 days for what we're waiting for to be ready, but... Yeah, okay. I don't know whether it's 3 days or 2 days. I waited 3 days just in case, and there we go. Our reward is the Begoron's sword. It's essentially the sword that you can get from Medigoron, but it won't break. It's the most powerful sword in the game, and it's my go-to sword. It's very powerful. The only drawback is you can't use a shield once you have it. Like, you can crouch whilst holding it, but you can't use a shield proper. And I never use my shield anyway, apart from when I'm reflecting projectiles, so for me, that's a completely meaningless trade-off. So, I essentially have a more powerful sword with no drawbacks. And I'm sure you can deduce just how soon you can get this sword from the trades required in order to lead up to this point. I think you need to have at least beaten the Water Temple so you can get to Gerudo Valley, but I don't know. The point is we have the sword now, and I have no more excuses for procrastinating. I'm going to need to start on Gerudo Valley in the next episode, and I'm not looking forward to that. But for now, I will say that I have been, and will continue to be, tessellating hexagons. I'm surprised by how quickly and efficiently I was able to do this side quest, and on my first try in one clean run as well. But that's enough rambling. I'll see you in the next episode. Not looking forward to that. See you then.